Happy Election Day. I am Angela Hughes, a luxury travel entrepreneur, and we are here today with Cathy Kasuma from Atlas Ocean Voyages. And wow, it's a really scattered day. My mind's like kind of going crazy. I know everybody's talking about the what ifs that could happen today, but I want to just get laser focused in on how to grow your luxury travel market segment. And Cathy is here to do that for us today.
Yay.
And so, Cathy, do you want to introduce yourself? It's not the first time you've been on my show. I love having her here. She has lots of great ideas for you guys.
Sure. Well, thank you, Angela. Like Angela said, my name is Cathy Kasuma, and I am the Regional Sales Director for Atlas Ocean Voyages for the eastern coast of the United States. But I've been in the cruise industry for over 23 years now. I started off my career on board cruise ships. I've worked in the onboard revenue side. I've worked in the shoreside revenue side. I've worked on the travel agent side, and I've worked on the supplier side. So I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to this industry and really love it. I've spent a good majority of my career in the travel advisor training area as well as sales. So I get really excited when I talk about that, and I'm very excited to be able to share some of my tips and tricks, I think, and they're actually pretty basic, but sometimes we need a refresher. And Angela's like, well, let's talk about something different and let's get back to selling. And so I have, I think, what I think is a pretty cool, quick presentation that I'm excited to share with you and share some tips and brainstorm ideas. I'm here to help. So however I can do that, and I'll weave in some information about Atlas as well, but it's really more about getting back to selling and selling travel, selling cruise, and building your confidence in your business.
Yeah, so let's go right into your presentation. You want me to put that up for you? And let's move right into that then.
Sure. Sounds good. Well, so I put this together basically to try and help dispel some of everyone's normal fears that have been happening this year. So, like I said, I've had a ton of experience in the cruise industry, and 21 of the 23 years I've been in the business, I've been focused on travel advisor training. So hopefully in the past, you may have had a chance to attend one of our brand webinars before, but if not, I'll kind of weave in some of our Lux Adventure references about Atlas Ocean Voyages. We are a luxury expedition cruise brand, and we're brand new. We have our first ship coming out in July of next year. It's in the shipyard right now. But hopefully you've had a chance to visit our Atlas Advisor Central portal for training and materials there. But today I really wanted to just talk about how you can say goodbye to fear and hello to increased commissions. I was just going to share my top 5 ways to really get back to business and increase your sales during challenging times. So it's really all about focusing on how to get back to selling travel again. So we're going to cover the following 5 things, along with some examples and tips. And again, they may seem really basic, but sometimes we need a refresher course in that. So the first is acknowledging the fear and overcoming current travel objections, which is something that we're all facing and have been for the last few months. The second is collaborate and how to work with your regional sales director specifically, or your other brand representatives. The third is to know your product. The fourth is to ask for the sale. And of course, fifth is to upsell. And again, a lot of these may sound very obvious and basic, but I'm going to try to help break down each one of these for you, and to give you a mini refresher sales course, but also a new perspective on, and maybe a new spin on how to sell given today's current environment. So we'll get right into it and address the elephant in the room. So how in the world do we get back to selling travel? The first thing we obviously have to do is acknowledge the fear, both your own fear and your client's fear, before you can even address today's travel concerns and travel objections that they have. So let's face it, the past 7 months or so have been completely wacky, and to use what I think now seems like a very overused and somewhat cliche, yet incredibly accurate term, unprecedented time, right? No one could have ever predicted that this would have happened, especially in the travel industry, particularly in the cruise industry. So it's perfectly normal to fear the unknown. It's perfectly normal to have concerns. it's taken us a lot of months to accept the path that the beginning of 2020 has taken us down. But at some point, we have to really adjust and not only start looking ahead, but also taking bold steps to plan for the future. So once you've taken the time to acknowledge your own fear of the global situation right now and not just that of your clients, then you need to embrace it and understand that there's always going to be elements beyond your control. But the thing you have to remember is that you are a travel advisor. You are the expert, and you were built to roll with the punches and go with the flow. And one of your biggest strengths as a travel advisor is to be flexible and to help come up with answers and solutions. So if you're not already doing it, it's time we get back to it, right? So you've got to embrace that fear of approaching your clients. I've heard lots of travel advisors, been on the phone with them constantly, that tell me that their phones aren't ringing right now. And they'll say, oh, well, I don't feel like it's the right time to approach my clients from a sales perspective. And my question to them is, but when is the right time?
I love that you said that because, and we were discussing this prior to getting onto the show today, but I talked about this last week when I spoke at the Travify conference, that so many people are kind of selling out of their pocket of COVID fear. And I think that's a big mistake. There are pockets of travelers out there who want to travel, and your responsibility is to sell travel, not make the decision whether or not they decide to travel. And if that's not for you and you hang it up for 2 years, I feel like you're going to be in a space where it's going to be hard to really pick up your business again in a year or in 18 months. And so I love that you're addressing this because I just hear that every single day. Like, I'm not selling, you're not selling, we're not selling, and so forth. And I'm telling you, there are agents who are selling.
Oh, there are, and there's some that are doing really well. And I'm going to share some of my success stories with some of the agencies that I've worked with recently too. But I can tell you the best, most well-rounded and successful salespeople, they don't sit around and wait for the right time. They understand that now is the right time. And honestly, I mean, I get it. Everybody fears somewhat or has somewhat of a fear of rejection. And the worst thing your clients can do or say is no, and they're not ready to travel yet. And that's okay. But you do have to ask them and at least make some contact with them and share some interesting new opportunities, like, I don't know, sailing aboard a brand new Atlas Ocean small cruise ship that has under 200 guests on board and latest safety protocols. Like, you can always spin things to work in your favor as well, to present new options and just to get your face in front of them again, and just remind them that you're here and make them a little bit more comfortable as well. So that's really step one. And I think the next point is really to lead by example and to start booking your own travel and start telling people about it. I mean, this is really simple. So if your clients, they obviously trust you and they look to you for advice and guidance, and you're their travel expert. And if they see that you're planning your next trip, they'll feel more comfortable and inclined to do the same thing. So my question would be to all of you, as a trusted travel advisor, are you afraid to put a deposit down right now for a cruise that departs a year from now? If the answer is no, then you need to do it. And we've had, again, some great successes at Atlas in the past few weeks with advisors promoting their own come-along groups. They picked out an itinerary that speaks to them and something that they would absolutely love to do. And we've taken out a small group, and it's awesome. And they'll just choose that group and promote the heck out of that one sailing, and work with your regional sales director or your reps for other companies that you work with, and get excited about your cruise. Post it on social media, talk about it, get people to come along with you. And it's worked really, really well. And set up a virtual consumer night to do it. And I'll give you some examples of that in a couple minutes too. The other thing is to use your promotions wisely. I've just put up on the screen here 2 of our promotions. One is a promotion for consumers, and one is actually an advisor promotion. But, how can you market these? Can you combine these promotions with your group? At Atlas, you can combine the consumer promotions with the group program, so that you've got both amenities there, which is amazing.
You could do both with that, because that's generally not the case with a lot of different cruise lines.
Correct. Yeah, no, it's great, and it allows you to look like a rock star as well, because you've got all of these different amenities that you can promote. But now's the time to be creative, and I know especially with Atlas, if you come to me and say I want to brainstorm ideas, we'll talk about it. Let's talk through ways that we can make this work. If there's and I'm sure you can do that with other brands. I mean, everyone's eager for the business right now. So the more you can do to collaborate and talk, and that'll be my next point, it will help you in being creative. And, desperate times call for desperate measures. And sometimes you just have to do things that are different. So, again, our current promotion right now, the On Your Way promotion, we've actually extended it until November 9th. But right now, with this promotion, in addition to all of the inclusions, because we include everything already with the price, we include airfare, we include gratuities and Wi-Fi and everything with our cruises. But on top of that, with our On Your Way promotion, it gives it additional shore excursion and shipboard credits, a reduced deposit, and upgraded air as well. So really great stuff. And then if you have a small group and again, with Atlas, it's only 5 staterooms, you're able to combine those amenities with your group with that. So it works out really well. I did want to mention Get Paid Now, because we extended it through November 9th as well. And that is our a travel advisor promotion. It pays you $250 per booking and $500 per suite booking at the time of deposit.
Okay.
It's an industry first travel advisor promotion. We've actually won awards for it, which is exciting. And we realize right now that although you may be getting bookings in for 2021 and 22, you're not getting paid right now. You're getting paid in 2021 and 22. So look, we wanted to do something.
Right now with the service fee, you could be making $500 or $600 right out of the chute, just putting something down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we wanted to do something for the travel advisor community, kind of to pay it forward during challenging times, because we were financially able to do so. And, we wanted to be able to establish that relationship as a new brand with the travel advisor community, because we know we're a niche market. We're going to need your help in helping promote us and sell it as well. But let us help you get paid, and, why not take advantage of that as well? So
such great tips.
So, and again, we know that there are challenging times and people have concerns about money and planning travel. So don't forget to remind your clients why they work with you in the first place. You're there to make their lives easier. That is what you do. And you do what you do best. And you need to just remind them that you're there to take the hassle out of planning every little detail of their travel plans. There are some brands that make it easier for you. I would like to think that Atlas is one of them, because everything's all included already. So again, the airfare, the transfers, the Wi-Fi, shore excursions, the select ports. We have journeys called Max Shore, which are a fully included Lux land tour with hotel tours, meals, transfers. That's all included. And we actually tie 2 back-to-back cruises together with that fully inclusive land tour in between. And we do all the work for you. And again, we're there to help you and make it easier for you, make you look like a rock star to your clients as well. But another way to offer to assist your clients who are a little more concerned about spending money or who are more cost conscious right now is to set up a payment plan for them. Some brands actually have a system in place. They've got things like Easy Pay that you can set up, and others you'll just have to set up a time and date on your calendar to call and talk about what plan is best for them. But it's just kind of nice to be able to offer some options for them. And if that means you've got to make a few additional phone calls to a cruise line with a credit card to call in some payments, I don't think any cruise line or any tour company these days is going to deny any money that you have to put down. But it does make it a little bit easier. Sometimes it's a lot easier to swallow if instead of paying a deposit and then a large lump sum, 90 days before their trip, maybe it's monthly or bi-monthly, or maybe it's split into 2 large payments. But again, be there to offer to assist them with new ways that will help them with their budget or maybe make them more comfortable. It's just an idea of things to kind of think about when you're working with your clients.
Okay, good tips there.
So my next tip is to collaborate, which makes sense. It should come no surprise to you that collaboration and working together with your sales representatives for the various companies that you work with is one of the most important aspects, obviously, in success in selling a particular brand. Obviously, teamwork is everything, and so I think it's always very important to be able to do that. I thought I'd throw up on the screen the 4 regional sales directors for Atlas Ocean Voyages. So no matter where you're located, I am in charge of the Eastern U.S., but we've got Anthony Cooper, who is in the Western U.S., Rolf Logan in Central, and Eric Bacon in Canada. All an amazing team. We're small but mighty, and we all work together to help each other out. And our emails are really easy to remember. It's our first name. So for me, it's Cathy with a C at atlasoceanvoyages.com. So it's pretty easy to be able to contact us. But again, help us help you make your next sale by connecting with us. You can call us, email us, text us anytime. We're here for you to answer your questions and again, help brainstorm ideas. We're all very creative. We have a wealth of experience and knowledge of the industry in various regions. We know how to leverage our promotions better than anybody else. We can go around corners and try and figure out ways to combine like the group program with the promotions or maximize all the value possible for your clients. So use us and make sure you ask us questions. We'll share our success stories and tell you about the travel advisor benefits. We'll try and make things work for you as best as we possibly can because we want you to be successful, obviously, as well. And we want to see things result in immediate bookings. You know, a lot of times we're looking at building your business for 21 and beyond, but we want you to get those deposits in now. We want you to make some money now. The holidays are coming up, so we want to do whatever we can to try and get paid those prepaid gift cards and those types of things as well. So, and just know that although things are a little weird right now with travel, we will be opening up. When things start to open up, we will be traveling again to the various states and provinces and back on the road. So we'll be attending all kinds of live events, and we want to, you know, we look forward to working with you directly. But we will do that when it's safe to do so. But that's our job. Normally, we travel about 60 to 70% of the time. So obviously, the next thing is to know your product, which is a pretty standard tip there. But, you know, as all great salespeople know, knowledge is power. But it's really important that you are able to walk the walk. It's almost impossible to be an expert on everything, and no one expects you to know, well, hopefully no one expects you to know every single detail about everything, and that's okay. But as long as you know where to find that information. And my tip is always to start by choosing one product or one destination and make that your focus.
And if we have new agents on here, what would you recommend if we have so many agents to say, like, I want to move into luxury, I want to start selling luxury. And so what would you recommend with your product if they wanted to they decide they really like Atlas, it seems like a good brand for them, maybe they're not well-traveled, where could they start with this? Like, where's the first step approach with your product to make them feel more comfortable about getting in there and branding themselves if they're not an expert?
Well, it just takes a little bit of time and some dedication to, one, talking with your regional sales director to get up to speed on the product, and two, to register for Atlas Advisor Central, go online, take our training that we have online, and also just asking a lot of questions. And I think, you know, if you're interested in luxury and learning luxury, you've got to kind of submerge yourself in that area and do research and find out as many little details that stand out as possible, find out what the inclusions are, and also kind of put yourself where people who travel, people who normally take luxury travel, where do they go? What do they do? What are their hobbies? And kind of put yourself in those environments when you can, so that you can, you know, speak from a perspective that they can relate to as well. You know, I like the destination focus personally. I think once you learn about a product, it takes a little bit of time, but once you learn about it and you've kind of mastered that, and again, like, our ships are small, and you know, once you've done a couple of trainings and asked a few questions, you pretty much have it down. But I like choosing a destination, and I always say that it's best to choose a destination that you love, or a destination, even if you've not been there. And in many cases, I would choose a destination you haven't been to in the beginning, because you get excited about it and you'll do research about it, take online training courses about it, ask questions, and then book your trip. You've got to invest in yourself. So book your own trip, and get people excited to go and learn and find out about all of this with you. People actually, and there's a lot of different places, and we go all over. We will be going all over the world. We're starting off in Europe. We'll come to the Caribbean and South America, and then we'll go into our expeditions in Antarctica. But there's an awful lot of bucket list places. So like Antarctica, for example, if you were to make yourself, this is your focus, maybe expedition cruising is something that you want to focus on. You study up, you take courses on it, but you invest time in your education, and that's one of the most important things. And get your certifications, flaunt it, go out there and brand yourself an expert. Once you've done a few certification courses online, and there's lots of different travel resources that you can do online, add it to your email signature, give yourself a new title like Antarctica specialist, and own it, because it's a proven fact that if you brand yourself as an expert, people will gravitate toward you. And I've heard people say, well, they'll only come to me for Antarctica. No. And I promise you, I've seen it over and over and over again, that if you brand yourself a travel expert and in one niche or one particular area, people will go, oh my gosh, that person is so knowledgeable. I wonder if they know something about this. I wonder if they know something about that. And they will absolutely come to you for everything else too. And they'll ask you questions, and they'll ask for your recommendations on things. So it's really all about credibility and building your credibility and proving yourself as knowledgeable and trustworthy. And once you've done that, sky's the limit. It's really interesting, the power of promoting yourself and that, sales credibility. It's really unique, and I think it's very interesting. This is just a screenshot of Atlas Advisor Central, which is our brand new advisor portal. And we're actually launching an MBA program, and the MBA stands for Masters of Bold Adventures. And it'll have a very heavy destination focus to help educate you on the different countries that we visit and small ports of call, so that it makes you a well-rounded salesperson. And stay tuned, because we have more exciting announcements about our MBA program soon. And we're going to keep adding to it as we go. If you haven't already signed up for some of our webinars or taken our training, you can go over to atlasoceanvoyages.com, and at the top you'll see a little section that says Travel Advisors. You click on that, and that's how you get to Atlas Advisor Central. But it'll help you not only sell our brand, but sell other destinations as well. So again, you can't really go wrong. So my next tip is a pretty obvious one. It's probably the most obvious, but yet most difficult one for a lot of people, and that's called asking for the sale. In my many years of travel advisor training and experience, I think the one element that advisors seem to have the most anxiety about is actually asking for the sale. And I know it can seem daunting at times, and for many reasons. It's increased tenfold over the last few months over the current global situation. So I get it. But I think it's time that we change our perspective on things, and really time to change your mindset to help others make plans, and have something to look forward to. I live my life by having the next thing to look forward to. And sometimes I think, and even in the last few months, it's been difficult, because you just don't always know exactly, where's the light at the end of the tunnel. But I think it's time to start creating that. I think, we're going to probably live with this situation in some way, shape, or form for the next little bit, if not forever. And we just have to deal with the adjustment of how we do that in a safe way. But that doesn't mean we can't have plans and look for things to look forward to. And again, the absolute worst thing that can happen when you ask for the sale is to have your client say no, or that they're not ready to commit to travel plan.
I appreciate when they say no, because I do a follow-up with everybody. It keeps them accountable. And then, they owe that to you if you've spent any time working on that to at least clarify. So if you're sitting there not asking for the sell, that's a big no-no. Absolutely ask for it, and maybe once or twice, and follow up on that. And then I just want to add to it, maybe not overthinking things. I feel like in this COVID climate right now, like when I decided to go to Africa, we literally went the next week, and there was 4 of us, and 2 were clients and 1 was one of my agents. And we all said like, oh, if we would have had time to think about this, we probably all would have said no. And it ended up being amazing. We were just like, we're doing it, and usually Africa, you plan for months and months and months out, if not a year out. And so don't overthink everything, you guys. You don't need to do that. Like, go for it. You have
the worst thing that they can say is, no, I'm not ready. And then you're not any worse off than you were before you ask. But if you don't ask, I can promise you somebody else will ask for it if you don't.
I agree.
Somebody else will assume that sale. So you always have to speak in those terms. And, a lot of the phone calls that I've had over the last few weeks and months with travel advisors have been somewhat like therapy sessions.
We're all in therapy.
It's a tough situation, but I think if you change your mindset and you look to positive, you're always going to have objections and challenges. That's just the way life is. But you're always going to have that one person that's just looking to you, and you may not know it, but they're just looking at you for that. It's okay to make plans. Sure. It's just that reassurance and that little piece of advice or that little push in the right direction that it's okay to plan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and they trust you, and they trust your judgment as well.
And real quick, if you're watching, make sure to ask questions in the comments, because Cathy wants to answer your questions.
I do. And again, use your promotions. Use the Atlas promotions to take advantage of deadlines. Create calls to action for your clients to take advantage of the most value too. I mean, we know in anything that you sell, you have to create some sort of urgency in sales. And we hopefully make that a little bit easier for you with our expiration dates of our promotions and with the call to action with our promotions as well. So again, reach out to us and we'll help you leverage them as best we can. I threw this one up on the screen. I thought it was somewhat appropriate today too, since it's all about election day and voting. But Atlas just announced recently that if you have clients that are in the military, they're either active, retired, military, or reserves, we'll offer them a special discount of 5% off when they sail on board. So again, just get to know your clients. It's all about qualifying, of course, and knowing where they come from and what their preferences are and what they do in their spare time and who they travel with, so that you can kind of form the best recommendation for them. So it's all about that. And of course, I think one of the biggest things right now is what's forefront on everyone's minds is peace of mind when they travel in particular. So as a travel expert, you obviously have to stay on top of all the latest cancellation policies and know what options your clients have in advance so that you can kind of set their mind at ease. At Atlas, we actually offer flexibility for your guests. We have a voyage change policy that allows you to change your voyage date up to 15 days prior to the departure. Or we will issue them a full future cruise credit that is transferable, so they can always give that to a friend or family member if they want to. We do our best to not only keep flexibility within the offers for your clients, but also we want to keep that booking with you. So we're doing as much as we can to not only be flexible, but also to help with your business as well. Another thing I'll just mention too, when we're talking about peace of mind, we just announced that Atlas will be including emergency evacuation and return insurance in the price of the cruise. And this insurance covers the cost of transportation off the ship to the closest destination for medical treatment and then home for your guests in the unlikely event that there's a medical emergency on board that couldn't otherwise be treated in our medical center with our doctors on board. But
is that for any type of medical?
Yes, it is. So it doesn't cover the cost of the medical treatment. It just covers the transportation, because Atlas goes to a lot of remote destinations like Antarctica. If anything significant, it's going to be an airlift and it'll be expensive. So, but we're including that in the price of the cruise for everyone. So you don't have to worry about that. A lot of other expedition lines require you to purchase it, but we're including that. So it's not an additional cost. But, and of course, as always, you want to encourage your clients to look at travel insurance options. If your clients aren't interested in adding insurance, also a tip is get your clients to sign off on some sort of waiver stating that they refused your offer of purchasing insurance. It's always just,
Right.
it's not a have to, but it's always something to do, especially given these days with all types of refunds and cancellations and things that they've kind of gone through recently. So it's always good to do. And then my last tip is to upsell. And again, upselling is a pretty standard thing. It's important, obviously, a huge important piece of the sales process. And this is where you're able to obviously offer your clients additional value. But you can also save them time and a lot of hassle, of course, by pre-booking options for them ahead of time in advance. So in order to maximize your commissions, always try to upsell, pre-book anything that you can in as many elements of your client's trip as possible. Try to leave no stone unturned there as well. Try to offer them an all-inclusive experience by tacking on things like pre and post hotel stays, short excursions if they're available to book in advance, travel insurance, obviously, and any other options that are available through the suppliers that you work with. I think, at Atlas, we're automatically giving your clients an all-inclusive experience since there are so many things already included in our journeys. I mentioned before, we call ourselves all-inclusive all the way, which means it's not only your gourmet cuisine and your premium beer, wine, and spirits are included, but select shore excursions, the use of bicycles, kayaks, and paddle boards and warm water destinations is included, laundry and dry cleaning services, Wi-Fi, gratuities, butler service if you have any suite guests, that's included. But the biggie is round trip airfare is included from 16 different gateways in the US and Canada with transfers. And because airfare is included in our packages, you make commission on the entire thing, which is great. So on top of all these wonderful inclusions, you can offer your clients pre and post options, shore excursions, spa packages, travel insurance, and any of that you offer them through us, you get paid a 10% commission on all of these as well. So basically, Atlas pays you commission on anything that you book pre-cruise. Again, we have no NCS. So that's a good thing. Yay.
Okay, we have a question. Is there a cancel for any reason with cash refund?
There is not a cancel for any reason with us. We do offer insurance options, but that's just strictly the travel insurance. You'd have to call into one of our voyage specialists to see what the exact details are. Since they're so new, I don't have all of those on me, but I don't believe there is a cancel for any reason. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Okay.
But we're doing everything we can. We've got our Get Paid Now gift card promotion. We've got a really simple and easy group program as well. But we want to help you be successful in getting back to selling by paying you the booking bonuses, presenting you with great consumer offers, and a simple but a really lucrative group program as well. It's got benefits for you and your clients. And use us. And we want to be your good news story to share with your clients about an amazing new small ship cruise brand. So however you can use this and abuse us in terms of getting back out there, getting your face out there, putting something new in front of your clients to talk about, please do so. Please reach out to us as well. So that was really my 2 cents and my pitch on how to kind of get back in terms of selling. We do have a Taking Travelers Back to Cruising webinar series that you can sign up for on Atlas Advisor Central. The idea is that we have about 20 minutes or so to give you specific tips on different things. It's not a brand presentation per se, but it's more about just talking about how you can do different things to enhance your business. So we've got one on groups. We've got one on how to put together a consumer event, and I've had lots of really good success with that.
Okay, so let's talk about that for just a minute. I know that you were saying that you've done a couple consumer events. Can you walk us through what that looked like? And then you had fantastic results with that. So I first want to know, what type of agents were they in terms of how long they've been in the business and so forth? Give us on that, and then let's walk through kind of step by step of what they did to put that together.
Sure. So I've actually worked with several different, like a lot actually, of advisors, but I'll just talk about the ones in the past 2 to 3 weeks. I've worked with actually one brand new advisor, like brand new to the travel industry. I've worked with one that's been in the travel industry, but decided to kind of put things on pause for the last few months and is now just starting back up. And I worked with another one who has been in the industry for many, many years. And she's actually been promoting pretty much through all of the current situation. And her business has kind of gone up and down, but we did the same thing. I kind of put a bit of a formula together and said, okay. And the one thing that they all had in common is that they all want to travel, and they all were very eager to choose one of the Atlas itineraries that they were willing to commit to go on. So we picked out an itinerary that they thought they wanted to do and got excited about. And then we took out a small group. So a group with us is 5 staterooms. That's it. Max of 10. If you've got a larger group that you're interested in talking about, talk to me. I'm happy to share that. But usually it's about 5 to 10 staterooms. So we took out the minimum. We picked the itinerary, and we went and we put together a flyer, a very basic flyer. They utilized their email lists and they blasted out. We also picked a night to do a Zoom cruise night, just for their consumers. And we took the flyer and we put it on social media. I gave them some pictures and some suggested copy. A couple of them are already very savvy in that, and some of them needed a little more assistance. That's fine. And we put together, a PowerPoint. I put together a PowerPoint very specific to the itinerary, port by port, day by day. One of them was all about Antarctica, so we focused a lot on the expedition side, what to expect, what type of wildlife they would see, and went into a lot of detail. The other was more that we had a couple others that were Europe, and so we focused very specifically on what to expect during the port days, what type of shore excursions we would offer. So we put together a PowerPoint. I hosted. Obviously, we had several slides with the consumer nights that were very focused on the agency and who they are. They started off and introduced, like, I don't need consumers to know who I am. I'm just there to give the information.
How many consumers actually showed up, and do you have an idea? I mean, I'd like to know how many was on their mailing list or how many people they reached out to.
It all depends on the agency. I've had some consumer nights that I've done. I've had 5 consumers show up. I've had some where I've had 37 show up. I think
if a brand new agent on here wants to try and sell you, and they're like, wow, I don't know and I think that's part of the fear factor is agents are like, oh wow, I don't want to set this up, and then
I don't want to waste your time. That's exactly what I've had that too. I've had people say, one, that they're afraid that they're not going to have a big turnout, and 2, that they don't want to waste the supplier's time. My opinion, and again, my advice there would be to talk to who you're working with. But if it's me, if I get one person interested in learning about the brand, 1, it gives me practice to talk about it. 2, it reinforces your knowledge of my brand for future. And 3, what if we get a sale out of it? 1 sale is 1 more sale than you had yesterday. So it's not a waste of my time at all.
So you're going to go for it regardless.
I would. How are you going to know otherwise?
Yeah, if you have a small mailing list, no mailing list, or a gigantic mailing list, at the end of the day, it's like I always say on social media, you don't need 30,000 followers. You just need one that buys. And so try it out, you guys.
Yeah, try it. And we'll use our current promotions to the best possible advantage, and then talk to your reps. Like, I know that I have a little bit of leeway to do some things to close a sale that we can't advertise in writing, but I can verbally say it on a call. And if I get, we'll give them a very specific 48-hour window to call and make their deposit, and they get an extra something with it. And, if you're talking to other suppliers, ask them what they can do, because a lot of times your reps are going to be able to, sometimes they can't, but then other times they can. So if they're able to do that, that gives, again, that call to action. So we did that. And for example, I did one last Monday night, and I had 23 consumers on the Zoom call, which I was thrilled with. And as of yesterday, we had 10 deposited bookings, and I have 5 options being held today.
And what type of itinerary was that for?
It was a 12-night Egypt and Israel immersion cruise, which is great.
Israel is so hot, you guys. If you're thinking about, and I am like such a pro in that area, I've been to Egypt multiple times, and it just went last year in hopes of doing a 2020 group that didn't pan out. But listen, if you guys are looking for a destination that's probably going to pop for 2021, even 2022, I would consider that itinerary with them.
Yeah, we've got 3 Holy Land options. 2 of those go to Egypt and spend some really great time. All of them go to Israel. So there's
right now.
Yeah, let's do it, Angela. Let's put something together. It would be great. They're very popular, and we've got a lot of unique itineraries. And I think consumers are going to be very interested in looking at, one, small ships, because they don't want to be on a ship with thousands of people. 2, they're going to look for something new and different. And again, that's Atlas. Our ships are in the shipyard right now. No one's ever stepped foot on board before, ever. So it sounds funny, but there is a little bit of something to that.
Was Atlas a different company before and then they rebranded?
No, not at all. We're brand new. Our parent company is Mystic Invest Holdings. So we're a subsidiary of Mystic Cruises, which is a European-based river cruise company. And they've branched out into the expedition market just recently. They have multiple brands underneath them. They've got Duro Azul Cruises, Mystic Cruises, and Nico Cruises is part of their cruise umbrella, which is the third. Together, they make up the 3rd largest river cruise operator in the world. So we got great financial backing there, lots of experience, but we are their North American brand and their North American division. And we're marrying that small ship luxury experience with the expedition experience as well. And that's kind of our niche that we're carving out for ourselves. But we will only be marketing to the US and Canada at the moment. So the experience on board will be that will be familiar to and speak to North American clientele. If you've got international clients that want to cruise and you want to sell them, no problem, that's fine. It's just it will be a more of a North American experience versus a European experience.
Okay, so let's talk demographics for a minute, because a lot of our agents are probably newer sellers that come onto this or new into this type of line. What are the demographics like? What do they need to narrow down in to make this successful for them?
So because we are a high-end line, we do fall in the luxury category. We brand ourselves Lux Adventure, which basically means we are looking to provide experiences to our guests that are a little off the beaten path. We feel that due to our price point, our destinations that we visit, and some of the offerings on board, we feel that we'll be most attractive to people in that 45 to 65 age range. Our sweet spot maybe being that 50, 60 something that skew on the active side. We are going to be offering a huge range of different types of shore excursions. Some of them will be more traditional, focusing on history and culture of the different destinations. We'll have a culinary spin on quite a lot of the things that we offer too.
And would you say the shore excursions are like included with these, or no? They're in addition, and it depends where you're at, probably, right?
What day is it today? Well, it's November 3rd. I'm not technically supposed to say anything. They should never tell salespeople things that we're not supposed to know. Right now, we include 1 shore excursion per person per cruise. As of November 9th, we will be including a lot more. So there's a big announcement to come, and that's all I can really say. But you heard
it here first. So
you will be very excited about and it will help us become a truly all-inclusive brand. That's all I can say.
Tell me a little bit about like a per diem rate for the viewers of, are we 800, 1200?
Yeah, just right in that range. Obviously, there's a disclaimer, so it depends on the itinerary and the stateroom category, but I would say the average price point is between about $800 and $1,000 per person per day. Our average booking per cabin seems to be about $18,000. I've seen some lower than that. I've seen some higher than that. But that's a good average right there in the middle. Most of our cruises are about 9 to 12 days long, very port intensive. We do a lot of overnights. But we do have some shorter cruises, like 7 nights. I haven't seen anything shorter than 7. And the idea is that we don't repeat itineraries. We might go back and visit some of the same ports on occasion, but for the most part, our itineraries will all be unique. The exception to that is our Antarctica expeditions. We do have quite a few round-trip Ushuaia 9-night itineraries there. However, no two Antarctica experiences are the same. It's not a port of call where you get off the ship and walk around the small town. That does not exist in Antarctica. It's all captain's choice. We will put kind of guidelines of where we think the ship will be going, but it's really all up to the captain and the weather and the wildlife and everything there. So that experience is very different than a typical cruise experience.
Okay, real quick, how would you measure up against Ponant and maybe like Cork?
We actually lease.
So where would
our company actually leases some of our ships to Cork.
Your company leases some of your ships to Cork?
Yeah, not Atlas, but our parent company. Yes, we build ships and lease them to AMA, Uniworld, Viking, Quark, Nico Cruises, which is under our umbrella too. So yeah, we're in that shipbuilding side as well, which is great. But our parent company, Atlas, is a whole different ballgame. We would like to think that we are in a class of our own. I'm sure everybody likes to say that. But I think in terms of competition, if you want to compare us expedition only, not the onboard experience, but expedition only, a Lindblad, a Hurtigruten would be very similar to the type of expedition experience in terms of very well done in terms of the expedition team that they have and what they're going to see and the thought that is put into that whole experience. On the shipboard side, I would say we're probably closest to a Silver Sea, a Seabourn, a Regent type experience on board in terms of luxury. So we're trying to kind of marry those two things.
You're two together. Okay, we have a question from Sandy Simpson. Thanks, Sandy, for tuning in today. She says, can they do back-to-backs? And if they do they have to get off the ship to get back on, or do you merge those two together for an easier boarding experience?
We do back-to-backs, and we actually have a name for them. We call them Max Shore. We have focused, a lot of cruise lines, or not a lot, but some of the upper premium and luxury cruise lines do a lot of overnights. But we concentrate our overnights on either end of the cruise, so embarkation or disembarkation ports. And we do that intentionally so that we can, again, push those two together and combine them to make a Max Shore itinerary. We've got several of them right now that are back-to-back. And what we do is we include a fully immersive land tour experience in the price of that trip. So you get on board the ship, you do the first leg, the first cruise. You have a land tour. We take care of the hotel, the tours, the meals, transportation, you name it. And again, all in that upscale experience. And then you'll get back on the ship for the second leg of the journey or that second cruise. And it's all one price. It's actually cheaper to do that than it is to book two individual cruises back to back. Right. But we do provide all of that as well, and some really unique experiences. One of them in the Black Sea actually takes people to Kiev and Chernobyl. A couple of them in our Max Shore itineraries in the Holy Land take you off the ship and you go to Petra in Jordan. You go glamping under the stars with a local Bedouin, and you go to Tel Aviv before you get back on the ship. Another one takes you to the hot springs of Pamukkale. Another one takes you hot air balloon riding over Cappadocia. So we've got a lot of really great experiences. So for those cruises, if for some reason your clients decide that they don't want to get off the ship and they want to stay on board, yes, they have the opportunity just to stay on board during that 2 to 5 day period. And we will give them tours during their stay on board so that they can get off the ship and experience different things while they're in that same port of call. Okay, so I have the final question. You've talked about your training program. How do commissions work when you don't have like a history with you guys? I feel like I see things come over from you guys, but generally commissions are kind of based on what your annual sales were before. So how are you guys? It's a tricky thing, given the current circumstances, but we are committed to giving everyone an introductory commission of 15% between now and the end of the year. Once we get into 2021, we'll do individual negotiations with each of the major consortia and headquarter offices we're already in talks with a bunch of different ones, and it's a combination. This first year is tricky, so we don't really have a whole history of sales to base things off of. So we'll look at some target and some goals of things that we'd like to accomplish and work together with those headquarters to make sure that we come up with a fair commission rate.
I said that was my last question, but I have one more. So I think everybody always wants to know, will there be familiarization opportunities for people?
Yeah. So if you go on, right.
No, I'm just kidding.
So probably the most recent things or things to look forward to, our inaugural cruise is July 17th in the Aegean Sea. It'll be Valletta, Malta to Athens. It's an 11-night cruise. I have been told that I will most likely get to invite some of our top producers there. So right now, a top producer is a couple of bookings. So let's get on the books there again.
Everybody's a winner on the show today.
So I will have a limited amount of space to invite people to join us there. When we do our transatlantic crossing, we in October, so middle of October, we're actually going to be in Barbados for 3 or 4 days. We're never scheduled to actually touch the United States. So that's as close as that will come. So our World Navigator, our first ship, will actually be in Barbados. And we're going to do 3 or 4 days of travel advisor events. So I'll be able to host and invite, again, a number of different travel advisors to come down and enjoy the ship, learn about us, and we'll have a bunch of other festivities that we're putting together. So that's another opportunity. The third is, if you go online right now to Atlas Advisor Central and sign up for, or get yourself a password and log in and sign up with us, you can actually download our travel advisor rates. We have them posted right now. And once we have our training available, the rate actually goes down once you've become a specialist and completed your MBA.
Right now for people?
Depends on the itinerary. I've seen some as low as $175 per person per day, and I've seen some, and it goes up to like $400. But again, considering the price point, they're amazing. They're amazing rates. Right. I'm hoping that I'll be able to host some FAM trips and have some opportunities there where, again, we'll give you a great advisor rate to come on board and actually learn about us and learn about the destinations too. So stay tuned, because I'm excited to hopefully find out more about that in the coming weeks and months.
I know, we talk like this and we get all excited and we're like, that almost felt normal. Just like, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, it's the election.
Well, again, we have to have things to look forward to. So put things on the calendar, hold spots and pick out itineraries that you're interested in doing. And again, I encourage everybody to look at our website, atlasoceanvoyages.com, check out our destinations, our itineraries. We go to some really unique places, and let's talk. Like, I'll do everything in my power to help make you successful. Let's put a group together. Maybe you can earn that TC and go for free. Maybe we can get a bunch of people to go with you. There's so many things that we can do to try and help you, one, be successful, but two, also get to travel and have something to look forward to as well. One thing I'm working on with an agent that I just talked to yesterday, I'm excited. She said, my birthday's in December. She's like, I'm giving myself the gift of travel for my birthday. And she's like, I'm going to pick out my birthday cruise. And she's making it this big thing. And she's going on Facebook and she's going to do, come with me on my birthday celebration, even though it's a year from now. She's picking a cruise at the end of 21 or maybe early 22 to Antarctica. She's so excited and she wants to bring people with her. And I'm like, that's such a great thing. And people, one, want to celebrate with you. Two, look far enough ahead to say, it's okay to book then. And so those are some ways that we've been really successful. I think right now it's kind of getting back and going grassroots and starting small and doing some things like that to see, and then it'll come. And once the floodgates open, be ready, because it'll happen.
It's coming, people. Cathy, it's always such a great honor to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Talking with you, I learned so many things, and I would consider myself an expert after 35 years. But every time I talk to you, and I'm like right here with my iPad jotting down notes, I feel like there's something every single time that we speak that we can glean from and just like grow from. And so I want to encourage you guys. I mean, Cathy is a rare exception of a rep that's still employed. And so this is a great thing. And she's over half of the United States practically. So she's your rep. She's my rep. So reach out to her and start looking at different opportunities that we can move towards not only building your luxury travel business, but putting people on Atlas Ocean Voyages. I think they're an exciting new product for everybody. So thank you so much for coming. For coming, we didn't even really go anywhere.
We did though, mentally.
To the show today. And again, I'm Angela Hughes, a luxury travel entrepreneur. You can find me in my Facebook group, Luxury Travel Social Media and Marketing for Travel Professionals. And I also do private consulting for agents and agencies and DMCs on the side, besides running my own travel agency, Trips and Ships Luxury Travel. So see you guys next time. And thanks for everybody that tuned in today. And good luck tonight with the election.
Thank you.